Split has updated the metrics pages to make it easier to create and review metrics, as well as introduced metric capping to prevent outliers from skewing results. The first thing that's obvious is the layout has changed to make the fields wider. This makes it easier to read and scroll through when you have events with long names and/or lots of events. In addition, what had been two fields, one for per and across and one for the type of measurement, has been combined into a single field, making the differences and options more obvious. You'll notice the note indicating that across does not allow you to get to statistical significance. As we've had that question quite a few times, here's a quick explanation. This is a simple test of number of classes someone might register for, where we have an on population and 12 students and an off population with 12 students. The on population had 72 classes for an average of 6, and the off population an average of 3. That's interesting, but is there a correlation? In order to really tell, we need to look at it per student. We need to understand the distribution. Here we can see the distribution is quite consistent between the on and off population. That gives us a smaller p-value indicating strong evidence against the null hypothesis. On the other hand, again, 72 on and 36 off, but with way more noise because we've got users at 1 and users at 13 and 12. It gives us a higher p-value, and that means less certainty that the experiment is what's responsible for the difference we're observing. The filtering has been moved under advanced features with the same functionality as before, allowing you to limit a metric card to measure an event only if another event was also done. For example, you may want to measure the number of reports run, but only for those users who finish onboarding. The new feature is metric capping. Any outlier values in your metrics will be capped and replaced with a fixed threshold value configured by the user. For example, in this case, I would cap the count of reports, perhaps allowing for 5 per user, and any more than that is expected to be anonymous or a bot. And I could do it for the duration of the test or for the duration of a day. An e-commerce company might cap the checkout total value if they get the occasional outlier and don't want it to skew a t-test or make it harder to reach statistical significance. Metric capping can be done per traffic type, which might be user or account or some other traffic type, for the duration of that version of an experiment, or per day, which starts 24 hours from the first impression within a particular version of a split. Split still captures all of the raw events, which are accessible in the event types admin page. When we do the calculation, the events per user are capped as defined in the metric, and those are used in the calculation for that metric card at that capped value. As you might expect, capping applies to all per user metrics except the percent of unique users measurement, and the count and sum across metrics, which are capped on a per user basis and used for totals. You can get more information at help.split.io in the documentation.